Today's August 9th, 2026, and welcome to the 500th episode of the Videogames podcast. Here on the show, I talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. My name is Brad Galloway. I'm the one-man host of the show, and I'm also the editor of GameCritics.com, a website that offers full accessibility info on every review that we publish. And with me today to help specially celebrate this special episode, fucking it up already, folks. Here we go. Man about town, Carlos Rodella. He's back. Carlos, what's up?
That's that sound effect for, like, you know, when you're excited.
That's the Carlos intro sound effect. There
500.
it is.
Hi.
Welcome back. It's been a minute. And to help us also special celebrate this special episode, our missing in action lost soldier, the guy who's been gone for 400 episodes, makes his triumphant return, Corey Motley.
Oh, wow. I feel like I was holding my breath for that entire intro, and now I get to breathe again. Hello, Brad. Hello, Carlos. So happy to be here. It's been so long.
It has been so long. I'm so happy that you're back. So happy you're available. Thanks for coming back, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I have the time. I have the energy. I'm still, despite not being on the show, I'm still playing video games every once in a while. So here I am to talk about them.
Excellent. So we're going to kick things off. We've got like a largely normal show because I'm just not that kind of special event kind of guy. I think having Corey here is pretty special all by itself. But before we get to that, so I feel like most people who are listening to the show these days are pretty familiar with Carlos. Carlos is a pretty regular guest. He's kind of like the added spice whenever we need to, like, get things a little heated up on the show. Always brings something interesting to say. But I'm guessing, Corey, that probably more than a few recent listeners probably have no fucking idea who you are and why you're here today. So you want to give yourself a little intro, introduce, and give us some of the backstory?
Yeah, I mean, I can try to keep it brief. It's funny, though, because without me, this show would not have happened. I mean, without you and I, Brad, but
true,
because you and I started the show, was it like 2015 or 14 or 16 or... I'm trying to remember like where I lived at the time.
It's probably 2016. It's been about 10 years, I think. Yeah,
okay.
Just about.
Yeah, we on a whim kind of, because we had been doing the Game Critics podcast every once in a blue moon, but it was really hard to organize everyone for it. And then you and I decided to just go rogue and do the Video Games podcast. So you and I did, God, how many episodes did we do together? Like,
we did exactly 100.
Exactly 100.
Exactly
okay.
100. Yep.
Yeah, because I stepped away in like October 2019. Spoiler alert, because I was getting divorced. Pew pew pew. And then I remember you had me back on in like 2021 for a one-off episode, and I was so happy to come back and sort of talk about my absence and everything. But prior to that, I had been writing for Game Critics like somewhat regularly. I was reviewing maybe a game every 3 months or something, and these days I don't really write reviews as often, maybe like once a year. But I mean, we still keep in contact, and I'm still playing video games, although my habits have changed a little bit. But yeah, I've been gone for a while, and I'm so happy to be back. Was that a good enough intro for
me?
That
was good.
Pretty good.
That was concise.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, you're pretty clean with your numbers, because you were here for exactly 100 episodes, and then you were gone for exactly 400 episodes, and now you're back. So that's really easy to remember.
Nice.
So just to add on to that, I mean, everything you said was totally like right on. And just to kind of fill in backstory, because I'm guessing a lot of people that don't know the story. I don't talk about it all that much. But yeah, you and I were doing the Game Critics podcast. Before that, I guess, how did we even meet? I mean, we just met through Twitter or something like that?
I think it was just through Twitter. I remember I must have just followed. Maybe I just followed you, because I remember like when I first got Twitter, I was like heavy on game journalists, like following all the reviewers, all the game sites. That was like, where some people follow like Britney Spears and whatever. Like I was like video games. So I was following all the, video game developers, the reviewers, the journalists and everything. And you must have just been in that mix somehow. Maybe. And I remember, I think you had just randomly put out a call on Twitter to be like, hey, we're looking for some new writers. And I sent you, I remember the first thing I sent you was, oh my god, now I can't remember what the game's called. That army game that was like that everybody loved that I hated, that Nolan North did the voice acting for. Spec Ops the Line. Spec Ops the Line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ops.
I fucking hated that game, and
I also
was
hated
like,
it, yes.
yeah, I was like, okay, I have something new to say about it, and I like wrote it up for you, and you were like, yep, you're on board. So yeah, that's sort of, it was just randomly through Twitter, and then yeah, I started writing for you.
Yeah. Okay, so you were writing for a while, and then kind of like you said, we did the Game Critics podcast, but man, I might have mentioned this a few times, but like, it sucked to do that podcast. I mean, it was good to do the podcast. I loved all the guys, and it was great. But like nobody had time for it. Everybody had like a life or a job or a kid, or they were tired, or they were on drugs or whatever. And like
Or
nobody,
they were like, weren't everyone in like different time zones too?
yeah, we had like literally at least one person in a different time zone every single time we recorded. And it was just like pulling teeth trying to get to the crew together. And I wanted to record more often. I was like, oh my God, we have so many games. I really want to talk at least weekly because there's just so much shit. And we just couldn't. And then there was like all this other drama, and we're like, fuck it. We did it. And in fact, you're actually correct in saying that this show probably wouldn't exist, at least not in this form, if not for you specifically, because I didn't know the first fucking thing about audio editing when we started. You did like all the heavy lifting.
That is true. Yep.
Technical. So I would have just been, I would have been talking to myself and keeping it on my own hard drive, and it wouldn't have gone anywhere. So you are the one who really kind of laid the foundation of that. And we had a question recently asking where the theme song came from, and you actually chose the theme song.
Oh yeah, I did choose. This is so funny. I was just explaining to my boyfriend sort of the origins, all of this origin story like yesterday, and I told him about. I just went to some random website that sold like, you know, the little jingles you can buy. So like I bought it specifically for us, and I was telling him about editing the shows, and I was like, oh, it's so easy for Brad. He just got to sit down and record. And then my time was like tripled because I had to listen back to the entire show and edit it. So I was shit talking you a little bit.
I did a lot of the editing too. I know your pain.
No, it's true. It's true. Because after you left, Carlos really took over those reins. I had so much on my plate with other stuff. I was really resistant to doing the audio stuff because I just like, you know, the game critic stuff and doing the writing and editing and life and all that stuff. And I was like,
also,
oh,
like, I had the time to do it. Even though I complain, I had the time.
Same.
Like,
you know what? Same. Because like Brad's like, I had 1 minute in my day, and I'm like, I could edit the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just me doing, you know, nothing.
It's true. It's true though. Like I'm super busy and I got like a lot of stuff going on. And I mean, I got so much stuff going on right now. And I actually was just talking to somebody about taking a new project. My wife was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I know. Too many projects. But anyway, I'm super grateful to both you guys for doing the audio technical side of things. But I did eventually bite that bullet. I started learning how to do it. I'm not going to say that I'm great by any stretch of the imagination, but I can get it done. I mean, I can put a show out. You get it done. Yeah, I get it done, which is good enough. So anyway, welcome back, Corey. It's so good to have you here. Carlos, good to have you back as well. You've been gone for a couple episodes. Where you been?
You know, out in the woods, just figuring it out. You know what I mean? Just
measuring trees.
No, like soul searching, like figuring it out. You know what I mean?
Went on walkabout or something.
Yeah, so walkabout. I think I might have come back a better person. So it's good that I did it.
Did you make a full circle? Did you just pick like a direction, go straight until you just came all the way back around and ended up back at your house?
Yeah. No, I went to some places.
Okay.
You know,
excellent.
It was weird. Yeah.
All right.
But also along the way, I played games somehow.
You had a portable with you. You brought your Switch.
Yeah, and my laptop.
Right.
So I got a lot of games to talk about for sure.
All right. Excellent. Okay, cool. So just to kind of frame this a little bit, it is the 500th episode. It is a big deal. I mean, like we just mentioned a second ago, the show's been around for like, I don't know, about 10 years, give or take. And, you know, I was talking to somebody, I think was it Ron? I feel like it was Superfan Ron. I want to give credit where credit is due, and I wrote it down, but I can't find it right now. Pretty sure it was Ron. Yes, it is Ron. Okay, good. Ron's a great guy. Ron's a great listener. Love Ron. And he was saying that only like less than 1% of podcasts ever make it to the 500 episode milestone. So I think that's a pretty cool factoid that I didn't know. So we're still here, still going strong. And that's all great. So we had a couple of questions and comments from listeners. I'm going to go through these real quick. And if you guys want to chip in, go for it. Otherwise, I just want to set expectations. I don't have anything There's going to be no surprise guests. I don't have anything. My wife was like,
or is there?
No. I'm straight up. Serious face. There's
I'm
no
the
surprise
guest. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. You're a surprise guest.
That's true. But we're not going to have anybody pop out of a cake. There's not going to be anybody come in at the last 5 seconds or something like that. So I didn't get any industry guests or anything. And I'm not, I've mentioned this before. I'm not much of a guy who celebrates like events and stuff. It's just not my jam. And so like I was really struggling to think about what we could do. And I think Corey's a great way to celebrate this episode. So we're going to go through our usual kind of like, modus operandi, but we do have a couple questions here to get to. So first off, Dave Jackson from, super fan and also super guy and super podcaster. Dave Jackson does his own show, in case you guys don't know. It is called, oh boy, I'm embarrassing myself. Backlog something. I listen to it all the time. I swear to God, I do. I can't remember what his fucking show is called. That's embarrassing. It is, as I look.
No editing.
Tales from the Backlog. I knew it was Backlog, and it's on my fucking podcast right now. Sorry, Dave. I suck. Dave says, please go listen to Dave's show. It's amazing. He says, congratulations on 500 episodes. Any idea how many games have been covered?
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's a tough one. I was not going to be doing any kind of like data aggregation or anything. I was trying to keep this like as low key as possible. In fact, my wife, when I told her about the 500, she's like, oh, you should go back and do like a clip show. And I'm like, are you crazy, woman?
No way.
There's no way. There's literally no way I'm going to do that. Okay.
But there's a way to do it, by the way, because we've talked about how many games we play each year. Remember, you and I have done that.
Well, we have. And also, there's also a website, in fact, that one of our listeners created. And I'm looking, I'm kicking myself. I didn't remember this earlier. It's like a total log of like all the fucking shows that we've done, and it has all the. Oh, I can't find it. See, I'm unprepared.
Look at unprepared.
Okay,
so episode 500.
There's an exact count somewhere because somebody created a website to do just that. But looking at this, so Corey, when you and I were doing the show, we were doing generally like what, 3 games per, give or take, you think? Does that sound fair?
It was sometimes I remember we would come to the show and like you would have 3 games, I would have 3 games, because a lot of times unless I'm remembering this incorrectly, if there was like a big release that everybody was playing, then you and I would definitely cover it and we would both play it. But I also feel like you and I's taste doesn't really overlap a ton. So you would be playing these like indie roguelikes and I would be playing first person shooters. So I feel like we covered anything from like 2 to 6 games per episode whenever we were doing it, give or take.
I feel like that's pretty fair. And asterisk, I did find the website. It doesn't have all the episodes on it, so I'll have to go back and I'll do that count later. Carlos, and that for you and I mean, I feel like our general template when you and I are doing shows together is just about 3 and 3. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, but in the heyday when I first took over, like we did like 4 each.
We did way more, right?
Tons, yeah, like 8 games each episode. So I think if you average it out, 5 games.
That's what I was thinking.
Show.
I was thinking an average of 5.
Yeah,
times 500.
Whatever.
So that's pretty close to like 2,500 shows or games.
2,500 games, yeah.
And in all honesty, it's probably more than that because the times that I'm on the show by myself, I have a minimum of 3, and sometimes I do like 4 and 5.
Yeah,
and we always talk about extra stuff, and so I feel
it's
like
3,000. It's 3,000.
I think that's probably not an unrealistic expectation. So probably pretty close to 3,000 games. Which I guess, how many is 3,000 games? Because we say 3,000. But I think we're kind of numb to it these days because we hear about billions and trillions all the time now. And I mean, 3,000 games to me, I'm like, okay, 3,000. Does it seem like a lot to you guys? Does that feel like a lot or does it not feel like a lot?
I mean, it's a lot.
Corey, does that feel like a lot to you?
It feels like a lot. I have Steam open on my desktop right now, and just to put in comparison, I own 385 games on Steam. So it would take me like 20, 30 more years, I don't know, to like have 3,000 games in my library. So that seems like a lot to me.
All right. That's probably a lot of games. I don't know. Dave, I don't know what number you were looking for. And again, sorry, I forgot the name of your fucking podcast. So yeah, I think 3,000 is probably pretty safe. I think, and honestly, it's probably more than that. So is that a lot? I don't know, but that's what it is. Okay. Moving on. Karis, superfan Karis. I love Karis. She is on holiday. She says, since I'm on holiday, I would like to know what your perfect week away would be. That's all I have to say, except also congratulations on 500. So let's all answer this. Carlos, what is your perfect week away? What's your perfect vacation?
Week away and also vacation.
I mean, same thing, you're week away from home.
I'd want to go somewhere rainy because I love the rain.
Okay, same.
Probably, I mean, I lived in San Francisco, the Bay Area. I like the ocean out there. So going out there for the weekend would be pretty great, and just kind of walk on the ocean and go to little bars and get coffee and have rain mist on my face and just be cloudy and get that kind of vibe of like.
If it was sunny that week, would you hire somebody to come and like mist you in the face every so often with like a little
nice? Yeah, no, mist in the face doesn't really work the same. But like, by the way, that's why I love that place, is because every night. Doesn't matter what the season is.
Yeah.
Like a mist will come in, and like a fog rolling in. So, yeah, I'd probably go to SF for the weekend. Or a week. That'd be a nice break.
Oh, excellent. Corey, what about you?
For me, I think if I could plan a perfect week away, I mean, ideally, I'd want it to be more than a week, but my boyfriend is Taiwanese, and we've been to Taiwan twice together. I think, Brad, since I last talked to you, I've traveled internationally twice. First time in 2024 or 2022, Christmas 2022. Second time summer 2024. I went to Tokyo for 3 whole days and then was in Taiwan for like a week. And Taiwan is just unmatched. I love it so much.
Really?
The food is so cheap.
I want to go so bad.
It has good. The public transit is excellent. The food is cheap. There's there's like urban areas with big city sprawls, but then the entire eastern side of the country is like hiking and forests. And I'm not an outdoorsy guy, so that doesn't matter to me. But it's got like the duality of it. I just love being there so much, and I also love it because like I don't vacation often. Having said that, I was literally just in New York like 3 weeks ago. But I like going to Taiwan because like nobody gives a fuck about me. Like nobody's like, oh, who's this fucking white guy? Like I just blend in, and I can walk around the night markets, and I can go to Xiamen and just hang out. Like it's just like it's not weird that I'm there. Like people don't care, and I can just walk around and do whatever, and I love it so much.
Dude, I heard that too. And it's funny you mentioned Tokyo, because you mentioned Japan, but I went to Tokyo, and it was like, oh, no, who are you? Like, what are you doing? like I stuck out like a sore thumb, even just, I know they get a lot of tourists, but it definitely didn't feel like welcoming in that way. Like, I felt like I was always like the American. And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry that I'm here.
Also, if I remember correctly, Carlos, I've met you in person one single time. You are tall, right? Like
ish.
Okay, I was just thinking about
taller than a lot of people there.
I was gonna say sticking out above everybody. My favorite thing about Tokyo is, or maybe it's Japan as a whole, because I smoke cigarettes. I'm a smoker, and in Tokyo, they have designated, you can't smoke anywhere in the city. They have designated places that look like little bus stops, and you have to stand in them and smoke. And in shopping malls, they have smoking rooms. And I was standing at one of the little bus stop things smoking one day, and this was at a point where I actually had hair, and it was dyed like a silvery pink color. And this Japanese guy walked up to me, and he was like, "Hey, I really like your hair." And that was like, because Japanese people, like, they don't talk to people, like they're very like insular. And so I was like, oh my god, this cool Japanese guy complimented my hair. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? So that was very exciting for me.
I want to put an asterisk and say the Japanese, like in general, people are amazing and they're very friendly, and it was awesome.
Yes,
but I just say that like I definitely felt like a visceral feeling of like I feel out of place, and I couldn't speak enough Japanese. I had like 20 words that I could pull off. So that was the thing. But no, you're right. Like that's a big deal. And the smoking, I went to potato video game store, Super Potato. And the like 3rd or 4th floor is like video games and just all smoking. So it's like all these arcade cabinets and just older guys just chain smoking.
Like a casino.
And that's just like normal. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
interesting. So I'm gonna stick with the Asian theme, I think. I'm not big on vacations. I'm kind of a homebody, and I've spent a lot of time making my environment very comfortable, and I don't like to leave it because I'm just that kind of guy. But if I did have to take a week away, I think what I would do Number one, I would have to make arrangements to have all my animals taken care of because I got too many animals to leave behind, and I couldn't just like lock them up and go. They'd all be dead by the time I came back. That would make me very sad. But I think I would probably go to maybe like either Thailand and or Vietnam. I think probably. I'm watching, and the reason why is because, and the wife would come with me. I'm not going to go solo. Wife's got to come. Otherwise, it's just no sense going. Because I'm watching a lot of like massage and spa videos lately. Like, like I get in bed and I'm like, oh, I need to chill. Let's watch some massage videos, right? And I watch all these different hosers who like spend like all their time in all these different countries. And like some of the Asian massage places look like amazing. And I'm not talking about the happy ending ones. These are like the upscale, on a busy street, kind of ones. And they just like, they rub your ears and your nose and your head and like your elbows
Your
and
nose.
fucking everything, dude. And
Yeah.
they do like, they bring you like little slices of mango. And like, I'm in my fucking spa era right now, dude. Like I was, when I was younger, I'm like, oh, I'm a hetero man and I'm tough and I like calluses and stuff. And now I'm like, fuck that. Like I need some moisturizer and get me some
Your
somebody
spa
take
era is
Yeah.
hilarious, by the way.
I mean, that is true fact. And my wife is with that too. She kind of like got me into it a little bit, so she takes some of the credit. But like they've got such amazing things, and they're like are also cheap. I just watched a guy last night. He's like, he went for this 2-hour massage. Like these 3 women were like working on his legs and his shoulders, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need some neck massage and everything. And they like give him some tea and a little sandwich, and they give him a shirt and everything, cut his hair and all this stuff, and he leaves, and it's like $14. And I'm like, oh my god, what? That's ridiculous.
Also, cut his hair and gave him a shirt. I'm
They
so
do all
confused
that.
by
They do
this
all
video.
that stuff. All
So
that
I have 2 things to say. One, what are those videos you're watching? Because I don't even know what this is. This YouTube genre that you watch.
Oh, it's a whole genre for sure.
Okay, now I'm interested. And then 2, why don't we all meet up in Taiwan? And then do a podcast there.
That would be wild.
This is pretty possible.
Episode
It's
501.
not impossible.
No, not 501.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
It's
for
not
my,
impossible.
My boyfriend is getting his green card. Hopefully, if the U.S. government will comply. So unfortunately, he cannot leave the country right now. But as soon as he gets his green card, we are booking a vacation to Japan and Taiwan again immediately.
That would
Oh,
be
geez.
great.
Okay.
That'd be great.
You'll be there before us.
Yeah.
I have to update my passport too, by the way. Thank you for reminding me.
All that stuff. And just to
we
add
should-
on, in addition to
yes.
the spa, I would just be eating the food like a motherfucker. I would
Oh,
gain like
yes.
50
I want that
pounds
too.
over there. I would
Yeah.
like all the food. I love Thai food. I love Vietnamese food. I would be like,
Well-
it would be heaven. So
This is going to be called episode 500. Welcome to Taiwan. And I want to go even more now that we've had this episode. So,
all right.
but we should talk about video games, huh? Or we have more questions.
Just like 2 more comments real quick, and then we'll get to
Okay.
the games real quick. BT262 says, thanks for making this great show and this great community, because they commented in the Discord. Congratulations on 500, and here's to 500 more. Thank you very much, BT. And Zebra, good man Zebra, loves him Zebra, says, congratulations to the 500. Thanks for the awesome show. Great recommendations, your reviews, and all the fun I have listening. And here's to another 500. So thank you all. Dave Jackson, Karis, Mike, BT262, and Zebra. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody else who's listening. So, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody. So let's just skip the usual preamble. We're going to just get right to the game section since we're got 3 of us here. We're kind of just doing a special show. So let's just kick it off. Carlos, let's start off with you with Adventures of Elliot. And I swear there's another Elliot game out there. I thought it was this one. I was confused. It's not that one. There's like at least 2 Elliot games out there now. I'm going to do Google search while we're talking. But
You're right. There might be Elliot RPG or something.
maybe there's 3. The one
Well, you find the one you.
I'll look for that one. But in the meantime, why don't you fill us in? Adventures of Elliot. Where are you playing? What's it about? Tell us all about it.
This is again a very quick one, and we've got other games to get to. So just quickly, because I didn't mention it on the show when I was on last, I guess. It came out for Switch first, and then I picked it up on PS5. I like playing it on the big screen. It's like 2D, the 2D HD remake kind of games. Very much like Octopath Traveler. So just think that, but a one-player, game that's not as difficult. I think Octopath was more difficult, and also it's action-based, so it's not turn-based. So you're basically running around like, what is it? Secret of Mana, Evermore.
Oh yeah,
Trials of
yeah.
Mana.
Okay.
Running around, hacking and slashing. Dodge roll. I think it has a jump.
Okay.
I don't think it has a good dodge roll. And then you have like a little fairy that comes around with you, and like you can control her too. But it's just like dopamine game. So it could just be called The Adventures of Dopamine.
Which
That's
doesn't
really what
quite
the
roll
game
off
is.
the tongue.
No. But yeah, it's just basically, you're like a guy who's set out to do, it's RPG stuff. You're set out to go do something, fix the lands, fight monsters, whatever. But the little hook is there's time travel, which, has happened in many games. So there's a time travel element. You're visiting the town, the area in different eras. But it doesn't really change much. It's one of those things where it could have been cool, where like you go to the past and do something and it really totally changes. But the only thing you're really trying to change is like the big bad guy who like went back to the past and fucked everything up. It's Biff from Back to the Future 2.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
You're just trying to go back and fix Biff. That's actually a pretty good explanation of it. And so, but it's just fun. The whole time, it's fun. I'm still putting in like a 7 category. Like, I don't think it's like anything groundbreaking. And I did put it down for a while, and I'll go pick it up later. But if you just want like constant dopamine rush of like running around, hitting things, getting gold rubies, figuring out some puzzles that are very easy, jumping to another time zone, upgrading your shit, going back. That's it. That's the game. And that's enough sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's a good, solid, fun 7. And that's all I really have to say about it. I just think it's really yummy and good.
This is not on my radar like at all. Is this like a lower budget release for them? Is this kind
Not at all?
No, really.
Square Enix, like huge. Yeah, developed by Square Enix and like Clay Tech Works, whatever that is. But yeah, in house, I'm pretty sure. And it was big on the Switch, I think, because I would think it was gonna be exclusive or something. But it's definitely on the PlayStation.
Never even heard of it till you brought it up, I think.
That's wild. Although I shouldn't say that's wild because I say games that you've never heard of all the time.
Yeah, and vice versa. Corey, was this on your radar at all? Is this something you would play?
I have never heard of this game until now, but also I'm not really an RPG guy, and I'm also not a Switch guy that much, so totally understandable that this would not be on my radar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Carlos, I did find it. The one I was thinking of was Elliot Quest. So there's Adventures of
Elliot
and Elliot Quest. So
was that Nintendo? Is that old, right?
It's
or
not
is it PS1.
I'm thinking like original Switch, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay, not too old.
Everything is 5 years ago. I can't anything.
Yeah.
That's all. The 90s were 5 years ago. I don't know.
I bring it to the show because you bring up Switch games all the time, and also a lot of our listeners are into Switch. It's not just on Switch. Again, it's on other platforms, but I think it is if you're like, this world is tough, everything's terrible, it really did help me for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, go just relax with Elliot.
Those are good. Those are good. All right. Corey, let's go over to you. You brought up a number of games before the show, and one of the things you played most recently is the DLC for Doom, The Dark Ages. I haven't dipped into this at all. I'm not much of a Doom guy. Maybe I'm not much of a Dark Ages guy. I don't know, but I didn't play this at all. Why don't you give us a quick, nutshell and tell us what you think about it? What's it all about?
So Doom. Do I need to preface what the Dark Ages is, or should I just jump directly to the DLC?
I think did you talk about this?
We
Carlos?
talked about it on the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
you're
don't
fine.
think you have to. Our
You're
listeners
okay. You're
know.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the DLC called Revelations came out probably like a month ago or so, and I had bought. It was one of those things where I had not realized and thanked past me because I bought the deluxe edition when I bought Doom: The Dark Ages without realizing it or without remembering it, and then I was like, oh, I have to buy the DLC. Surprise! It just appeared in my game.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I bought the deluxe edition. But it's basically like it is separate from the campaign where you're still playing as the same Doom guy. Excuse me. And of course the hook of Dark Ages is, you have the shield now. So you're like blocking and throwing the shield, and that's not really a thing in the other in Doom and Doom Eternal. But the Revelations is a separate campaign. So you select it from the main menu, and it's essentially just like more Doom, but it really feels like, because I remember, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but I remember when the Dark Ages came out, and I sort of share this opinion, that people were like, oh, well, this is good, but it's not as good as Doom Eternal, because Doom Eternal I still think is my favorite out of the new 3. It's just like the fastest, it's the craziest, it's like lightning speed, and like there is a rhythm to the Dark Ages that I enjoy, but it's probably my least favorite out of the 3 newest Doom games. And I feel like id Software, they were like, oh, you guys said you liked Eternal the most? Well, what if we just made Revelations, Doom, The Dark Ages, Eternal instead? And you get to swap out your shield for a spear weapon, and you can toggle between them at any point. So there's a new spear weapon, and it essentially does a lot of the same things as the shield. Like you can still like parry attacks, you can throw it, and you can use it to, it shoots like a chain out, and you can use it to grapple different areas in the environment, so like platform, but also you can use it to grapple enemies. So if you're like across the battlefield from an enemy, you can like shoot the chain out of your spear and basically just like start like helicoptering around the enemies until like the spear, you can't do it forever because it's like kind of a time limited thing where it's maybe like 4 seconds before the chain breaks or whatever, and then it recharges for a second. But it's really, I am really enjoying the Revelations DLC. It feels like the slower pace of Dark Ages, they sort of just like cranked it up to make it closer to Eternal, and like the spear feels faster, and it's not super duper long. I wish I could, on Steam it would show me how much I've been playing just the DLC, but it doesn't. But it has like a good setup where you have sort of like a hub area, and then there's like I think only 3 or 4 missions that you sort of like go through a portal out of the hub area. In different areas you do the missions, and the missions are standard Doom length, but then after there's sort of like a whole end game thing where like you go back into the missions after, and then you open up like a whole second half of every level. So like even when you're done, you like there's still like way more to play, and I'm sort of in the end game stuff of it right now. Like I haven't finished all of it. I will say though, some of the challenges, the end game challenges, because you have to go back into the levels, go into the other part of the level, and there's like 3 sort of combat arena things you have to do, and some of them are really hard. Like they're like timed, like kill 60 enemies in 3 minutes, and you have to like do it in the time limit in order to like get the final key piece or whatever. And it's like I was playing it the other night, and I played the campaign and the Revelations DLC on like I think there's 4 difficulty levels. I played on the second one, and then I bumped it down to easy because I was like, this is just too hard, and like it's still like it doesn't adjust the time limit when you bump it down to easy, so like that doesn't help the situation.
Yeah.
So I'm having a little bit of a hard time, like wondering if I'm actually going to be able to. And I don't need to 100% the DLC, but like I want to. So I'm a little nervous that like I just will not be fast enough to do it. Maybe I need to watch some YouTube tutorials and just like really go down that path. But all in all, it's really really wonderful DLC, and I also feel bad because like Microsoft just like slashed id Software's team. So this this could very well could be the last thing we see from them for a while. But at least they went out on a high note. I really like the Revelations DLC.
Cool. I'm afraid of that timer because I didn't get to that part in the DLC.
I hate all timed missions. Like
I hate all timed.
Well, and they're not. There's only like 2 of them, and it's not like the whole thing. It's very very sparingly, but it's still like a little bit frustrating.
I played the original, or that one, Dark Ages, and beat it. And by the way, not to go back into it, but that story is bananas. It's like, what's going on?
It's
okay,
like Warhammer,
whatever.
Like fan fiction to me, it feels.
Yeah, but then like the devil too, like and just really weird stuff. Anyways, I actually totally dug it that I wanted to keep playing, so I played the DLC for a little while. But it is definitely like samey. It's like it feels like you said, more of that game. So I was a little burnt out because I just played the whole game and I actually beat it. So I took a break from the DLC. But I would agree that it's like their best shit. I think it's really, really yummy because it mixes that fastness of Eternal, like you said, with I don't even think the original. I don't think Dark Ages is slow because you're still like going from beat to beat, like chaining moves all over the place, but it gives you more of an open area, I think, and that you can like mess about. By the way, was Eternal the one that I bitched about, Brad, that I ran out of ammo all the time?
I think it probably was. Yeah, I remember you did have that complaint about that one.
Because I was like, if I just want to keep playing this thing you gave me, which is like a dopamine thing, I think that's the only thing, Corey, that I didn't like about Eternal. But like in Dark Ages, that wasn't a problem. I always had something, and my melee was always available. I lived with that mace was so yummy where you just hit people with a mace and blow them up. So I'm glad to hear that you liked the whole thing too. I think, like you said, is one of their best like last things if it is the last thing.
Which would be wild. I think of them as just being like this institution that's always there, and to think that like they just, I don't know, they got closed and laid off. I mean, that's crazy. That's like saying
Yeah.
the sky isn't blue anymore or something like that. Like that'd be insane, but I guess we'll see what happens. All good things come to an end, I suppose. All right, let me take over for just a second, just for like a minute. I don't have a lot to say about this one, but I did want to just like give it a quick spotlight. I was speaking to a friend of the show, Jeremiah. What's up, Jeremiah? We were just talking about various things, and he brought to my attention Poinpy, Poinpy. I had not heard of it. Either one of you guys heard of it?
Mm-mm.
I had not heard of it, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? What is this? What's going on? And he's like, oh, well, you played Downwell, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, Downwell is the shit. You guys play Downwell? You guys know Downwell?
Mhm.
I know what it is.
We talked about it in the game.
Yeah. I mean, that Downwell is like amazing. I'm like, yeah, I fucking love Downwell. It's great. He's like, same guy. It was like his next game. And I guess apparently from what Jeremiah said, this one was made for like Apple Arcade. And so it's been under the Apple lock and key for like a while. And apparently he just got the rights back. Maybe their deal ended or something. And so now it's available. And I believe it was free on like Android and on iPhones as well. So I'm like, oh, okay, Downwell. I mean, say less, right? So I just went and downloaded that, checked it out. And I've only put like, 10 minutes into it or something, but like, it's got that kind of thing where like, just when you play Downwell, you play it for 5 seconds, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like you immediately just like grok what's going on and you get it. Same thing with Poinpy. You're looking at this, it looks very simple. I'm like, okay, what's going on? You pull your finger down on the screen and you let go and the guy jumps, just like a million other games. But there's all these other factors that come into it. The way that he bounces off walls, the way that you get like a double jump and how that works in midair. He's got like a ground pound and like the way you navigate levels. On paper, it doesn't sound like anything special, but when you actually play it and what it feels like, it feels very much like it's supposed to be on mobile, which is not something I can say very often. I mean, most mobile games I play, and I don't play many, most of them are just hot trash and they try to sell you something and there's all these ads and whatever. This is just like an experience, right? And so I start playing this and within 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I just kind of got into it and I'm just like jumping. It's going to get more complicated as we go. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what I'm seeing, but I just wanted to put on people's radar in case you haven't heard of it. Like I haven't. If you like Downwell, if you want more from that particular developer, whose name I do not remember at this particular point in time.
I was just looking at it. Sorry.
Did you find it?
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's on mobile. I don't know that it's going to be coming to any of the. I mean, it would work on Switch because you can use the Switch touchscreen. That would work just fine. But I think like using your finger is kind of an important part of it. I mean, it might be okay with a stick, but it's just a cool little project that has really good vibes, feels really good, feels super polished, and it probably doesn't make you learn about humanity or anything like that. It's not going to give you the secrets of the universe. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like you were saying, Carlos, earlier about Adventures of Elliot. Sometimes you don't need the biggest, fanciest, deepest thing. Sometimes you just need something that makes you feel good. And I will say that Poinpy did make me feel good in the few minutes. It's just like immediately it was like click. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's great.
And I get what this guy's doing. This makes sense to me. I like it a lot. And for people who like Downwell, they should check it out.
Ojiro Fumoto.
Okay. I don't
Gonna
know.
do my best attempt. The developer name I think is Moppin.
That's what. Yeah.
Developer
Right.
Digital, or Devolver Digital published it.
Good call. Yeah, Moppin. Yeah.
It's on Netflix Games too, I think.
Okay, so maybe it's all over the place.
Yeah, because you're playing on your phone, which is weird.
I know it feels weird, but it was worth a quick download. I need
because none of us play games, or neither of us usually play games on phone. But that's cool. And he actually worked on UFO 50 too.
Oh, did he? I did not realize.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent. All right, that's all I have to say. I might circle back to it. I am kind of curious to see where it goes. Because just like Downwell, it really got a lot more complex the further you got into it. So I'm kind of expecting maybe a similar path of increasing complexity as the game progresses. But we'll see.
Check it out,
Carlos. Okay, let's go back to you for a second here. You surprised me very much by the other day. I was like, oh, what are you playing, dude? And you're like, I'm playing Halo. And I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
I know. I was like, what?
Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm playing Halo Campaign Evolved. Number one, I wasn't even aware that this even came out. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like disconnected from games right now. I don't know. Or maybe I just saw it and I just blanked it out because I don't like Halo. And you're like, oh, I'm playing Halo. I'm like, the campaign? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And you're like, I never played it before. And I'm like, what? You've never played the Halo campaign before? Like, okay, so that's the setup of just me going, what?
Yeah.
And then here's Carlos filling us in. So tell us more.
I'm not going to say much more, but that was pretty much it. You covered it.
Give us the opportunity to bitch because I fucking hate this game, Corey. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah,
but...
we can bitch because basically I played Halo like the rest of the world, multiplayer, and
back in the day.
Yeah, and I mainly liked it, which I like nowadays, is the physics stuff. Like I love Ragdoll. I love watching the explosions, the funny things that happened. I always thought that like Warthog or whatever is like badly controlled.
Yeah.
It was the dumbest control ever. Yeah. But I just had fun because you're just playing at the rare occasion me doing multiplayer, which I hardly ever do. And so, it's just like dumb fun. But I didn't know. I never like actually played. I think I played the beginning of the campaign and I just didn't. So I was like, okay, there's a perfect opportunity. They like made crazy new graphics, supposedly. That's what I saw like all over YouTube. Look at the water, and
the most pointless fucking statement ever. Who fucking cares about the water? I don't care about the water.
And so I was like, okay, well, whatever. I did. It was a gap, I play games all the time, and I had a gap, and it was like on sale or something. I don't know how I got it on PlayStation, but I went for it. So, and also because for Glitch to the Ground, my gaming channel, I was like, this will be great. I could do some physics funniness.
Sure. Blow the Warthog up and make it flip and all that stuff. Yeah.
And I did get a really good video, which was for other reasons. I'll tell you at the end. In general, though, it's like boring and corny. like it's so corny because like the same three enemies and their little monsters and their little voices show up everywhere. And like I played a lot of this game. Like, it's not just the beginning. And it's like, there's that one monster. I don't know the names of any of them. And there's the little gremlin, the teeny little guys who have like a high-pitched voice. They're like minions.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, he's coming back for us. Oh, no. And I'm like, how am I supposed to be serious at all? With those guys keep saying that. They're like, I think he's going to get us. And so that keeps happening the whole game. So nothing's really scary or interesting. And then the story's like not even there, really. And then the gameplay itself didn't feel fun, and it felt so samey, and it felt floaty. Very, there was like no weight to anything. I was just floating. I could no fall damage. I don't think, the Warthog thing just like floats around, and the water, by the way, didn't even look that good. Didn't even look that good.
Just regular ass water.
It was regular good graphics water. I don't know. So yeah, I literally had no fun. And I got a couple really good videos out of it. And I was like, I'm not going to keep doing this. And bad checkpoint system, too.
Yeah. So you bailed on it then?
I bailed, yeah. But not before I got one great video, which I'll tell you now, so you don't have to go watch it if you don't want to. It, like, blew up viral, like crazy.
What was it?
Is in the very beginning, me, I, like, try to do everything wrong in games. So I immediately, the very first minute they give you control of your character, I just shot one of our own dudes. Just shot a guy in the area. Mm-hmm. And they're like, he's gone rogue. Kill him. And so everybody started like attacking me. And they're like, Master Chief's gone rogue. Take him down. And I guess that's in the original too. And I like the fact that they give you that option, or it isn't. I don't know.
I have no idea. No clue.
Oh.
That's funny.
So, anyways, it was just like that video went crazy because I just started having like kill all of my team. So that happened.
Man.
Yeah, thoughts, Brad? I don't know. It's not fun.
I was going to say, so Carlos just took a big shit on one of the most monumental games of all time, which is par for the course here on the show.
Right.
Corey, you got any thoughts on Halo, the original campaign, or Halo in general?
I played the first Halo like everybody else did when I was in like 8th grade or whatever. And then when I do own the Master Chief Collection on Xbox and on PC. I feel like those games, I go back to play them every like 5 or 6 years. And the only ones that I really like are ODST is still the best in my opinion.
Now, that is pretty good.
Yeah, yep. ODST is my favorite. I like Reach a lot. I did play Infinite, which is like the last newest one, like as far as the story goes, that has the grappling hook. Brad, it has a grappling hook. Maybe you should play it.
I do like the grappling hooks.
I liked Infinite. I thought it didn't blow me away, but it has like open world. It's more open world. It has a grappling hook. There is nothing more satisfying than shooting that grappling hook onto an enemy, floating over to them, and then hitting them with the butt of your shotgun. So much fun.
Yep.
But it didn't change my life, but it was like the perfect game just to play when I had time. But I haven't played the first Halo in at least probably like 3 or 4 years. And I remember the last time I played through the Master Chief Collection, like specifically like 1, 2, and 3. I remember thinking like we loved these back then, and I'm not a multiplayer guy, so I was never really into the multiplayer scene. But I also know that something that's disappointing about the new campaign evolved one is that it doesn't even have multiplayer, and that's such a big draw for Halo. Like, why would you put a Halo game out in 2026 and not have multiplayer when that's what everybody wants to play? Maybe they're trying to keep everybody in Halo Infinite's multiplayer. I have no idea how well that's doing, but
I don't think
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Well, you bringing up Infinite though, real quick, is that like this game made me want to go back and play Infinite. You know what I mean? Because like I did have a fun time with that. Like it was mindless, but also I feel like there was less little gremlins going. I don't know. I feel like there was less. No, there were, because remember there was like really cool new enemies in Infinite. And I think, and there's the bases. Remember you had to smash the bases up?
Yeah.
Infinite's way better. And I own it, so I might even re-download it. Actually, I'm thinking about this right now. Yeah.
Well, it's
sorry,
funny.
Brad, what were you saying?
I don't have much of a history with Halo. I mean, I think those games are really boring, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of Bungie in general either. And I have some friends who work at Bungie, so like apologies, like nothing personal. But their writing has always been terrible. I just don't really like their gameplay. I'm not much of a multiplayer guy, so like most of what they do is lost on me because I just don't like to play that kind of that type of experience. And I think their campaigns are always boring. It's funny because I bought Halo off the shelf when it was brand new back in the day when it just dropped, and it was a hotness. And we had been hearing about it for a couple years beforehand, and it had gone through different iterations, and it was like all this different thing. And so I buy it. And I bring it home. I have no intention whatsoever of playing the multiplayer because that's just not me. I play the campaign and I'm like, this sucks. And I actually took it back to Electronics Boutique, and they thought I was crazy. They're like, "What? You're bringing this back? Are you insane?" And I'm like, "This game sucks. I think the campaign flat up sucks. It really does." So I'm just not a fan.
It's more of that, and with better water.
Yeah, better water. So I'm not. Whatever. And to be perfectly frank, I've been kind of keeping my eye on it just because I'm a petty bitch like that, to kind of see what people are thinking of it. People who don't have the nostalgia for it, right? People who just didn't grow up with it. And like not to speak for everybody on Earth, although I feel like I probably can, but it's like most people who didn't grow up with it are like, this campaign sucks. Like, it's not really that great.
Yeah,
like, it's just not very good. So
it's almost like objectively at this point, not to say that because we don't like that word. But I also say this brought up Halo Wars. I was a game tester at Microsoft on Halo Wars.
Oh, that was kind of fun. I dug that one.
Yeah, if no one's ever played it, I don't know where it's available. I guess it's probably still available. It was damn fun.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Really freaking fun. Like as a real time
strategy,
strategy game. Yeah, man. And those warthogs or whatever controlled better.
Yeah,
they did. Go back and play Halo Wars. That's my review of
better
Halo
use of your
campaign
time.
involved.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Corey, let's pivot to you for a second. Now, Carlos and I have both been on the record very clearly about where we stand on 007 First Light.
Oh, boy.
But you haven't been on the show for literally 400 episodes, so let's catch up with you for a second. You've played it recently, and I know for a fact that you love, IO as much as I do. The developers of Hitman. I know you love Hitman just as much as I do. You know that. I know
you guys did a 4-hour episode.
We did. We did a fucking 4+ hour episode. One of my favorite podcast experiences ever. One of my favorite podcast episodes ever. And in case people are just now finding out, Corey and I did do like a 4+ hour Hitman focused episode. We talked about like literally every game
level. Yeah,
we talked about every level. We talked about all our favorite strategies.
Not to go into it, but remind me about Blood Money, because now that you're here, Corey, I liked Blood Money because it was the action one, right?
No, you're thinking
Blood
of
Money is not the action one. You're thinking of Absolution.
Absolution.
Yeah, I actually liked that one because I went back to it recently.
That's the worst one. Canonically, it's the worst.
It's probably like
objectively, it's the worst one.
I didn't mind
I just want to get it.
I understand why people don't like it, and I actually wrote a piece about Absolution for Game Critics so long ago. But I think it is probably the worst one. But I do like some of the stuff in it. It's a little bit of a guilty pleasure type hit.
That's what I mean. What I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. For sure. So I just want to set the stage because nobody loves Hitman more than me and Corey. I think we're probably like the world's most foremost fans. And I don't know if you probably didn't hear the episode where Carlos and I talked about it. We talked about it for a couple episodes. So I'm going to withhold comment until we hear from you. So give us really quickly, what did you think about First Light in general, and like where'd you end up on it? Like what's your take on it as someone who likes Hitman and IO just as much as we do here?
Yes. So, yes, on the record, love Hitman, love IO. Also love James Bond. So these are two things colliding for me. And I remember like it feels like 6 years ago or probably something whenever they like announced that they had the license to James Bond and it was like Project 007. So of course I was like already super on board. I think I pre-ordered it on PC. And I played it like the day it came out. Actually, if I remember correctly, when you pre-ordered it, you got like 2-day early access, but I was so busy that I could not play it in those 2 days, which is so embarrassing.
No.
But whatever. So I played it, on PC, and a quick side note is that I have 100% become a PC Master Race guy since you and I last talked, Brad. I know last time I was on the show, like 5 years ago, I briefly was like, oh, I bought a PC and I've been playing games a little bit more on it. I have since upgraded my PC. I got a new, pretty high-end PC at the end of, for Christmas 2024, and I love mouse and keyboard controls most of the time. However,
Really? Wow.
when I finished First Light, I played some of like the tax sim stuff on controller. I bought a PlayStation 5 controller, not for this game, but just in general. And I was like, man, I should have played this on controller because every once in a while a game just feels better with a controller to me. So I feel like I did myself a little bit of a disservice by playing it with mouse and keyboard because all the gadget buttons and stuff on mouse and keyboard, it's just too complicated. There's too many buttons, too many things, and my fingers can only stretch so far on the keyboard. But logistics out of the way, when I was playing the game, I liked that there were some clear influences from Hitman in it because honestly, I did not want it to be Hitman reskinned as James Bond because as much as I love Hitman, sometimes when I go back and play some of those levels, they're overwhelming. Like you're like, man, I'm gonna have to spend like 2 entire hours in this mission, like to get this thing done. But I liked how almost every level of First Light, it sort of starts off with like the narrative hook of whatever you're doing. Usually there's like a big, I don't know, ballroom, something, social gathering that you're exploring, and that's where it feels really Hitman. But it feels like baby's first Hitman, like whenever they give you the option of like, it clearly tells you, like, you can overhear this person's conversation. Whereas in the Hitman games, you just have to listen. Like, the game doesn't really tell you when you're hearing something important. So I liked that it kind of had the training wheels on a little bit. And then usually it goes into, like, the more spycraft, like, stealthing around. I like that. Because you know me, Brad, you and I are opposite Hitman players. I try to get in and get out without anybody knowing I was there. And you were like, I'm shooting everyone. I'm blowing everything up all the time. I'm dropping every chandelier. But I liked that in 007 First Light, like the combat areas were pretty, they're like compartmentalized really well. So like if you mess something up, it doesn't blow your whole mission. It's basically just like the room you're in might become a little bit chaotic and you could fight people or shoot people. And then it'll have like, I don't remember what the message on the screen says, but it'll be like situation contained. And then
like level area section.
So I did like that because I found it difficult to be stealthy 100% of the time in that game, which I didn't love because I wanted to be stealthy. But then when I accidentally broke cover, like it wasn't that big of a deal. I felt like the first big shootout of the game, which is like the airport runway sequence, I was so unprepared for that. And I died like 12 times in that sequence because I just didn't know how much damage he could take. I didn't really know how the cover system worked because it really just kind of throws you into that combat sequence. And boy, oh boy, did I die so many times. But once I sort of got the hang of everything, the levels are all kind of copy pasted in a way where it's like they start with the big ballroom, they go to the spycraft, and then it's like the guns blazing shootout at the end. I kind of sort of wish that maybe they had like mixed that up a tiny bit, but I did really love the desert level where you have to go and do like the odd jobs to earn money because it lets you sort of like do whatever you want. Like you can do the fight club or you can try to do the diamond, the little guy who has the cups with the diamonds or whatever, or the gun range thing. It was very classic Hitman of like, we're just going to give you a little area and let you figure out what you want to do to get this solved. As I was playing 007, I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, I really can't wait to go back and like play all this again so I can go through the window this time instead of going through the front door. But as soon as I finished that game, I had no desire to play it again. And that's not to say I didn't like it. I liked it a lot. I think it's fun. I like the hand-to-hand combat. I like the mix of shooting, combat, spycraft, whatever. But by the time I was done, and maybe it was like the fact that it felt way more like Mission Impossible than James Bond to me at the end, because he's like fighting the fucking robots. I'm like, what are AI robots doing in a James Bond story? Totally far-fetched. But by the time I was done, I was just like, yeah, I enjoyed that, but maybe in a year I'll go back and play it. Or when the DLC comes out, I'll probably buy it and play it. But I liked it. I thought it was well acted, well directed. I liked most of it. But I really thought I was going to want to go back and play it immediately upon finishing. And I just didn't when I was done with it. But I liked it. I rate it.
I think because it's exhausting, in my opinion. It's exhausting. Because it's so much, like what you just described is a lot, and I talked about it on the show. But I think the double-edged sword of it is that it does go back and forth between like an action game and like the detective stuff and like the spycraft stuff. And so you don't know what kind of game it is. And then it goes, and then there's always melee. Like you can always just punch people. So I think I was confused and also just exhausted. Like it had that Uncharted feel where like, and now the building blows up, you know? And so, like you said, at the end, it was like literally robots. And that was like really hard. Like there's all these robots coming at you and you had to do it just the right way. And I kept dying to the robots. And I was like, what am I playing? So I did enjoy it, but I had problems with it. But I was also very tired at the end.
Yeah. And we talked about this before. I'm not going to get super into it. I hated it. I did not like it at
Oh,
all.
no.
Yeah.
Totally did not click with me a bit. I didn't like the action parts. I didn't like the Hitman parts. I felt like they ended up in kind of a no man's land that was like in the Venn diagram of all the different things, but the middle was like just not enough of anything. It just didn't get there in any way for me. And so and to be clear, which I've said before also, I'm not like the world's biggest James Bond fan. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't dislike it. I dislike the new ones. I think the new ones are really boring, but like in general, James Bond is like fine for me, whatever. But I just was like not stealthy enough to be Hitman, not actiony enough. There's like too much Uncharted in here for me. Like
It's a
I
lot
just
of
like
Uncharted.
yeah, it was like I got to one point where I wanted to try something and the developers weren't letting me do it because it was too Hitman-y. Like I was thinking like a little bit too much and they wanted to kind of keep me on the rails. And once I hit that wall, I got kind of really frustrated with it. I was like, forget it. So did not care, but I'm glad you had fun with it. I was really curious as to what you were going to make of it. So I guess now I know. Mystery solved. All right. Let's move on really quickly. I have a game to talk about, which I doubt is probably on either one of your guys' radar. It's called Kynseed. Kynseed. Either one of you guys hear of it?
I know of it.
I
and
don't know what this is at all.
It seems like, it's an RPG-ish thing?
Yeah, kind of. I'm playing it on Switch too, which is great. So this is like, it's basically like Stardew Valley, where you have like a farm and stuff to do, but there's like a million like other things to it. So it's like one of those like, I hesitate to call it like a life sim, but kind of because there's like so much stuff to do, but it's not like that at all. Like there is RPG elements, there's a story, there's a quest, but there's also farming. Basically, you're this person who wakes up, you've got a family, you're on a farm plot, and there's all these like little medieval style towns. It's a fantasy thing, so it's not medieval, but it feels like, you know, we're in a village and there's horses and we're all growing our own food. And it's kind of that like low tech sort of like setting or whatever. And it's kind of like an open world map where you can like walk around. So imagine Stardew Valley, but like big, and you can go different places, different towns. And so you're meeting people, and it feels like a lot of this game is focused on relationships with other people. You go to the menu and there's like this enormous list of people that you can meet. And I've only met like 20% of the people in the game. And I'm already feeling like, okay, that's too many people. Like as an introvert, I'm like, okay, that's enough. I don't need this many people in my life. I may just ignore like the other 80% of these people here. But the graphics on it, I think, are really good. I think the graphics are very attractive pixel graphics. And I feel like the UI is really good. Everything about this game, even though at the beginning when you first start playing, you're like, oh, it's like Stardew Valley Plus or something. And it kind of is. But there's so many like little touches. There's so many little things that they thought of. There's so many like little nice things. You can tell the people who made this game gave a shit about it. Like they weren't rushing through it. They weren't like on, I mean, I don't know if they were on a deadline or whatever, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like they took a lot of great care. And there's all these like just little niceties to it, like the way that they talk about the fishing and the way that you can find your next objective and all the prompts that you get if you forget something. It's in a menu, and it's like these people who made this game, I'm guessing, have played all of the Stardew Valley likes and probably kept notes about what worked and what didn't work, and they're like making one like Uber game to where it's kind of got that same cozy, I've got a farm feeling, but also I'm talking to people, and also I can get married, but also there's like fighting, and also there's fishing, and also there's like production, and also I have minions, and I can build buildings, and you can do like all these different things, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel crammed in there. Like it feels organic in the way that it kind of like unfolds and the way you're going through it. And I'm really, really liking it a lot. I really like this type of game when it's not just a farming. It's got to be like farming plus. So like, Graveyard Keeper is probably my favorite of all time because that's like a whole thing.
I was going to mention that game because I got a vibe of that right now.
Yeah, it does have a lot of Graveyard Keeper vibes in it where it's not as dark and nihilistic, which is part of what I like about Graveyard Keeper, but just about how there's all these other layered systems, talking to other people, doing other things, having all these quests to go through. It's just a really, really nicely put together game, and I'm having just like a great time with it so far. When I'm not watching massage videos on YouTube, I'm playing Kynseed in bed. And
or at the same time,
maybe at the same time. And it's just like, it's just the right level of I'm doing something active, and so I feel like I'm playing a game, but also it's super chill. And if I get distracted for a minute, it's no big deal. Everything like waits for you. Like there's no time pressure or anything. I think everything about this game is just really, really well considered. And so if you're looking for like farm/life/adventure kind of a thing, I think this really like checks all the boxes. And it's weird because it certainly comes at the end of all these other games. Like this game ran because those other games walked, right? Like this game wouldn't exist if not for those other games. So I acknowledge that, but at the same time, it is a really good thing of what it is. And I think like they have learned the right lessons, and they clearly have put their heart into it. It feels like very well considered and very well cared for. I'm just really, really liking it a lot. And this is something that I could easily imagine myself sinking probably like 200 hours into and just like chipping away like 1 or 2 hours a night while I'm in bed or something. It's got a really good feel to it. I'm really liking it quite a bit.
Dude, thank you for bringing it to the show because I'm going to download it. I'm looking on Steam. It came out a few years ago on Steam, but this is the big console release.
Yeah,
so
the console release
because of that. And they're doing a lot of sales with that and stuff like that. It's only $20 on Steam. There's a tavern update that just launched, which, that's exciting. The graphics are cool. Not to make it about the game I'm making, but to your point earlier, because I'm working on a game that I'll talk about later, it is about passion. And you can obviously tell from the trailer that they have like the craziest passion for this world. And they were like I'm doing right now, is like, we should put this in the game. Like, because, why don't we do this? This would be really fun if this was in the game. I just see a lot of parallels to while I'm working on a game, what they did, because like you can raise a family in this game. You can do all the things you talked about and then fight monsters. And I think it's a delicate balance to do that and then not have, like you said, have it feel too much.
Yeah.
But man, Pixel Count Studios, I'm in, baby. I'm in.
It's good. It's good. There's only one negative. There's only one negative. I'm not like mega deep into it. I'm only been like 10, 15 hours into it or something. So there's still like loads that I haven't gotten to yet, like tons. But the one thing that I don't like about it is when you start the game, they don't give you like a clock. They give you a dandelion. And at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? And so you pluck a dandelion and then, it's like when it's all white and puffy and it's just about to, you're going to blow it. So it's like one of those. And one of them, like you see all the little dandelion seeds or whatever. One of them is like slightly like 2 shades more brown than the other ones. And that's the one that you're supposed to watch because that's your clock, because you're looking at this dandelion and it kind of like goes around and it falls off. And I'm like, this is way too fucking abstract and weird for me. Please just tell me what fucking time it is, because this doesn't make any sense. Now, it wouldn't be that big a deal. And I believe that you do get a clock at some point. I'm just not that far yet. Or maybe I missed it or something. But what happens is if you're not watching the time and you're busy doing stuff, and there is fast travel, but you got to you got to do that first thing. You can't just do it right away. So you're walking around, and if you get to like 11:30 at night, your character goes, "Oh, I'm tired." They go, and they fucking fall down, and wherever you are, they fall fucking asleep like in a goddamn coma. And then it stops whatever you're doing. You cannot proceed, and then you wake up and you're in your bed, and you're like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'm like, "That's so fucking annoying. It's so annoying." Please, I just want a regular clock. I can manage my time a little more. The dandelion thing does not work for me. It's very cute, adorable, but fuck off. I need a regular clock. That's my only complaint.
Okay.
My
Well,
only
I'm looking
complaint.
at a screenshot and I see 2 a.m. on a little.
So maybe that
meter.
person unlocked the clock or whatever. I don't have it
Yeah.
yet, so I need to hurry up and I need to speed run to get the clock because that is my
Speed running at the
only
clock.
my only friction point right now is the fucking time telling. So
They should make the clock at the beginning.
it was
That's
ridiculous.
crazy.
It's stupid. It's stupid. Okay. Anyway, Corey, is this something you get into? Do you do any of these farm, Graveyard Keeper or Stardew Valley likes?
No, I'm not much of a what they call them cozy games these
Yeah,
days, whatnot.
yeah.
I don't really think that's my bag currently. I'm too busy shoving a spear through demons and doing the Dark Ages
Nice.
to go start a farm and raise a family.
All right, maybe you get there. We'll check back. We'll check back another 400 episodes. All right, Corey. Let's pivot over to you, and then Carlos, we'll finish off the new stuff with you next in a second. So get ready, sir. So Corey, we were talking before the show, and this is one that you mentioned as something you could potentially talk about, and that's caught my attention, and I know Carlos perked up a little bit too. Death Stranding 2, which we have talked about a lot on the show, and also the first game as well. At length.
At length.
So tell us, I guess, number one, your history with Death Stranding, and then where are you with Death Stranding 2? Why'd you bring it up today?
Well, when we were talking about stuff we could talk about, I was sort of brainstorming all of I know Death Stranding 2 is not new, but it's like one of the newer games I have played because I didn't want to come on the show and be like, here's this 10-year-old game I played, even though I know I could do that if I wanted to.
Technically, you could.
Yeah, I could do that because what is... never mind. I won't even say that. So Death Stranding 2 came out on PlayStation 5 like a year and a half ago or whatever. I don't own a PlayStation 5. So I was sort of waiting for it to come to PC, which I was crossing my fingers it would because Sony is very hot and cold about their first party games going to PC. And as of now, they're saying they're not doing their first party games on PC anymore. So Death Stranding 2 might literally be the last one. So I bought it when it came out. I did buy the first one when it came out in 2019. That was right around the time I left the show originally, because I remember I had just moved into a new apartment. I had my PlayStation 4 and I had bought Death Stranding. I did not like the first Death Stranding. I played all of it. I played the whole story. There were parts of it that I liked, but I just thought it was really Hideo Kojima up his own ass about all of it's just like when people accuse him of being a bad writer, I'm like, yep, Death Stranding 1 is right there. It has a lot of really interesting ideas, and I admire the technology and the motion capture and the face capture and the acting of it all and the environment, and it's an interesting premise, but at one point you're dragging a woman's body in a coffin thingy through these snowy mountains, and she's monologuing about remembering being in the womb, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing right now? I'm freezing my ass off trying to get to this base so I can deliver your stupid ass to some person, and you're in my ear talking about remembering being born. Shut up. It was so stupid. And so the second one, for some reason, I just felt compelled to buy it. I don't really even know what the reason was. Maybe it's because when it came out on PlayStation 5, everybody was like, this is now the best looking game ever made, which every month there is a new best looking game ever made. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I have
to see the water though, by the way, the water?
The tar and the water and the snow. So I thought, well, I just bought a brand new PC. What if I buy it and it'll be the best looking game I've ever played? I don't think it is, but I really, really liked the second one. And I think, well, to be frank with you, I was telling Brad before the show, this is for the listeners. Death Stranding 2, when did it come out? Hold on, let me check the Steam page. It came out on Steam on March 19th, 2026. So not even a full year ago, half a year ago. It is currently my fourth most played game on Steam. I have 102.6 hours logged in it.
Wow.
Which
what
is
are your
crazy.
Other 3?
I was going to ask, do you guys want to guess what my top 3 most played games are on Steam?
Oh, Jesus. It's going to be something I can't guess. It's going to be some...
the number one game is going to piss you off, Brad, I think.
Probably. No, they're probably all going to piss me off. I don't... I do. I mean... I honestly don't know. I was gonna say Hitman Collection, but I think maybe we played those not when
On
you were on Steam, so it's not
console,
gonna count. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not gonna count. I have no idea what.
My number 3 game is the Resident Evil 4 remake with 144 hours.
Real 144 hours.
144
For
hours.
that game?
I have
How
played
the
that
fuck
game
you put that many
so
hours
many
into it?
times because it's fun, Brad. It's one of the best games. I've
Dang.
played.
Okay. All right.
My number 2 game is Cyberpunk 2077 with
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
320
For me.
hours.
I can see that.
My number 1 game, if you had told me a year ago, 2 years ago, that this would end up being my number 1 game on Steam, I would have
Wait,
said.
is it one of the Deus Exes?
No, it's not. I would have said you're out of your fucking mind. My number 1 most played game on Steam, I don't even want to say this out loud. It's The Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
What?
Can you believe that?
No, I literally can't believe that.
I can't
You need to
believe
explain
that.
that. Explain that. Explain yourself, sir.
399 hours. Let me tell you why.
How the fuck?
Let me
How
tell
the
you
fuck?
why. And you know, I have very famously said on this podcast about how much I did not like the first Last of Us. Actually, I think it's fine.
recall.
I think the game is fine. I took a lot of heat for telling people that they need to read a book if they think the story in that game is good.
Yeah, that pissed a lot of people off. I
did make people mad. And the second one, I played it on PlayStation 5. Or PlayStation 4. I never thought I was going to play it, but my boyfriend wanted to watch it. So I bought it, played it on PlayStation 4 for him. And there's something about, again, PC Master Race. There's something about having a high-end gaming PC where I'm like, if I think a game on console is fine, I bet I would like it just a little bit more on PC for whatever reason. And I think it's because the mouse and keyboard controls, specifically on shooters and stuff, just feel smoother to me now than using a controller. And let me tell you, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered controls so beautifully on PC, but that's not the reason why I played it for almost 400 hours. In Part 2 Remastered, they have... You're also not going to believe when I'm going to say this, Brad. Oh my god. They added a roguelite mode to it, where it's a mode called No Return, and you play it, and it's like the first level, there's like... It takes maps from the game and puts them into little like bite-sized levels, and there's different sort of, there's one that's called Hunted, where like enemies are kind of spawning in and you have to either hide from them or kill them. There's Assault, where it's like 3 separate waves of enemies that spawn across the map and you can like get around and kill them or whatever. There's a few different game modes, and it randomizes the maps, and I think you play like 6 of them, and then there's a boss fight at the end, and there's like 5 or 6 total bosses that can be in that last slot. And if you die at any point, you have to start all the way over. They have a daily one that has a leaderboard, and I play it every fucking day. I play The Last of Us Part 2, the No Return for the leaderboards every day, because that game is so mechanically sound. I do not love the story of that game. It actually actively irritates me. But the game feels so fucking good to play. And now that they have the mode that's just like no story, all gameplay, and it's the perfect bite-sized thing too, because it takes like 45 minutes to play a run of No Return. So if I'm on my lunch break at work and I'm working from home, or if I just need like something to play for like 45 minutes, it's the perfect thing to play. And that is, I now have 399 hours in The Last of Us Part 2.
That's fucking crazy. I never in a million billion years would have ever fucking guessed. Not only Last of Us, but also roguelike. You were like so like not down with roguelikes at all.
I'm a new man, Brad. I'm a new man.
He's a new man. It does make more sense though that you mentioned that mode, because that really is what you're playing it for. You're playing it for the mechanics that you like, and then you just want to play those mechanics a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why people play certain MMOs or multiplayer games or roguelikes, because they like the thing that makes them feel good, so it makes sense. It's just so weird that it's that game.
It's weird that it's that game. I also, we don't have to talk about this, but I also had a love affair with Hades last year, and I thought Hades, my coworker was like, you have to play it, and I was like, I'm never gonna like this game. It's totally the opposite of everything I like. I now have 81 hours in it on Steam. I fucking loved that game, and it is, again, like, that is not anything I thought I would ever love, but really came around to Hades whenever I played it.
Well, you have
but
been
anyway,
changing since you left the show. My gosh.
He went to the woods. You went to the woods.
My gosh, I don't
You
even
had
know
a
who you're talking to
walkabout.
anymore. It's like Corey's not. It's like Corey's clone is right here with us today.
You're glad you brought me back on, because I'm full of surprises today.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
okay, so,
Death Stranding 2.
2.
After 4 tangents. So Death Stranding 2, it's funny, Brad, you were talking about cozy games and asking me if I liked cozy games. Death Stranding 2 is my cozy game. Like, I love riding my silly little truck around, delivering my silly little packages to people. I upgraded built every road in that game, built all the railways in that game. I upgraded every road on the island so they all have the little like over thing to protect from rain. I didn't deliver every package. I didn't 100% the entire game. But I think it's because the second one is just more accessible, and it's more user friendly. It felt easier to me to play. It didn't feel as actively hostile, which I understand that might turn some people off. I just love riding my silly little truck around, Brad. What do you want me to say? I had the time of my life just riding around, getting my resources out of the mines, building my roads, building my railways. Like I would come home from work and be like, all right, let me go build the roads on the west side of that island today. Like, I still think the story is stupid as hell. I think it's so stupid. The whole, like, we're fighting with guitars. Like, I was like, this is so fucking
don't
stupid.
remind me, dude.
Minor spoiler, baby. Come on. The
story, just like with the first one, I was like, this is kind of dumb as hell. But I am impressed that they got like all the cast to come back, basically. And like Elle Fanning, love Elle Fanning, so I'm glad she's in the game. But like, I don't know. It's like, how are we gonna let Kojima get away with this so many more times? Like, oh, you're gonna have a hot girl who doesn't talk and takes her shoes off all the time. Like, how many games have you done this in a row in? Like, he needs to be stopped. But
that's the kind of shit you do on your own time with the money you make from the games you made. Like, just go and indulge yourself.
Yeah.
But, like, not on screen. Take care of that on your own time, buddy.
I don't love that. But that being said, just the gameplay, sort of like with The Last of Us, it's like with the gameplay of it all, I just really enjoyed. And I like that the enemy encampments are like, so like they're only in specific zones for the most part. So you could like ride your truck around and or I could, because I love doing that. And not really have to worry about getting like accosted by enemies all the time. Yeah. So I just really fell into like a perfect rhythm. But once I got all my roads built and got my finished the game, built all the stuff I wanted to, I do not foresee myself going back and playing it anymore. Like, I have no desire to deliver every single package and 100% the entire thing. But those 100 hours, I did that in like a month, put like 100 hours into that game. Yeah. And I just thought it was so nice to play. It felt like a warm blanket.
So you did get cozy after all, just a different kind of cozy.
Yes, you did get cozy. And it was snowy, and you had to come in from the snow and get cozy.
Yeah. Interesting. You know, Carlos and I both have talked about this on the show before, and, you know, I love the first Death Stranding. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I really did not like Death Stranding 2. I finished it, but it was like, they took away all the stuff that I liked about it. Like, it didn't feel, kind of like you said, like it was less hostile. And to me, part of like overcoming that hostility was like part of what the game was about. Like, you know, it felt so satisfying to forge a path after like, you know, really working for it and trudging those boxes. You didn't drop a box, and you climbed up the thing, and you had just enough ladders to make it up the cliff or whatever. And that was like really cool. And then when I got to the end of this Stranding 1 and had my tracks built and had the roads built and stuff, I'm like, oh, this feels really good. And I feel like I've really earned it, and it was worth the investment and stuff. But Death Stranding 2, it just did not. It was, I don't want to say it was too approachable, because that seems kind of weird, and I don't want to be one of those get good kind of guys, but like the combat, like there was like more combat, and it was easier, and you had better weapons, and like everything just seemed like less frictiony, easier, approachable. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, clearly a lot of people really like that one much more than number one, which is okay. But for me, it was just like, I was
gonna say, that's exactly why there are games for every type of person.
Yeah, exactly.
And why people like love a game and hate a game, because I also, probably like Corey, I enjoyed the accessibility. I enjoyed the combat. I love that slow motion thing when you take out an enemy, and the fact that there was melee, you know me.
Sure.
So like, I would go to those camps and just be delighted to go to the camp, you know, and just like hit people with that spear. You get swords at some point.
Yeah, you do.
And like, I just used the sword, like they break on you, and it was just like, that part was really fun. And then I'd get annoyed by the story, and then I would like, yeah. So I don't know. I think it was a good mix for me. I don't think I ended up loving it, because I was so frustrated by story parts and torture. That stupid torture part, which is absolute bullshit. And then the ending was like redonkulous.
I mean, I got to say the story, the story is, I mean, I am on record, even though I love Death Stranding 1 so much, to play. I'm on record as saying that was like diarrhea horseshit is what the story was in the first one. It is equally like just a series of horses just dumping into a trough for number 2. I fucking hate the story of number 2. It's so stupid.
Can I say about the story parts real quick? And then remind me, we're going to revisit this in the next game I'm going to talk about, actually. But like I did like the Elle Fanning part too, and her moves were so cool. Her like attack karate moves. But like what makes me frustrated is there's parts, little nuggets that if it just stayed in that story bit, like the computers at the end, like there's some computers, and this is actually like this is a simulation or something, right? Minor spoiler. If it just hear me out. If it just stayed with that,
I'm just shrugging at the absurdity of it all. I remember doing the dance move thing when you're fighting the server ghosts. Or whatever the fuck it was.
But the point is, if he just stuck with one of his wild ideas, right? I think that there's like missed opportunity there because I'm like, this is making me feel something. I can't not say that, right? I'm like, whoa, this visceral moment, it's so beautifully done and whatever. But then he just immediately jumps to another thing. He's dead. He's not dead. He's back alive. He's also a ghost. And then there's also a baby. So like, it's the back and forthness of it that makes me I can't go in. And be like, I'm in this world now. I believe you. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen next moment. So we don't need to talk about that game anymore. But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, just to wrap it up, I think I can identify with what you're saying about Last of Us, Corey, because I mean, as much as I hated Last of Us Part 2, and I really did hate it, the mechanics are good. I do agree with you, and that's kind of the same thing with what I feel about Death Stranding number 1. I think the mechanics are so good for me specifically that I keep playing it, even though I fucking hate the story and the characters, and I skip all the cutscenes. But just playing it, so I get what you're saying. So that makes sense to me for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done
Moving
with the new games, but I actually have. I have to circle back for 1 second. I accidentally skipped over one of the questions at the beginning of the show, and I want to make sure that I read this real quick. Which this is kind of a nice. Actually, it's fortuitous that I found that question now because it kind of goes into what we're talking about. So this is from Mike. I love Mike. He's a great guy. And the question that he asked is, and apologies, Mike, I should have got this earlier, but what game has stuck with you the most since you started doing the podcast? So this will be different for all of us. Whoa. Corey, let's start with you because you were on for the first 100 episodes. Or do you want me to come back to you?
I feel like I need like an entire hour to think of an answer to what game has stuck with me the most.
What comes to mind when you think of your time on the show? Oh, we'll come back. Okay, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Carlos, let's go to you first. Since you've been doing the show here, what game has stuck with you the most?
Stuck with me the most is an interesting way to put it. By the way, this is not a non-answer. This is a non-answer, but Starfield comes to mind.
Oh, yeah, for good reason.
Because you and I had huge moment with it.
Yeah.
We gave it 6s or 7s or whatever. We got all this backlash, crazy, terrible comments. They did come around because people kind of agreed with us after a while. We got to play it early. We got to play before any other humans. Like me and you and like 10 people got to play that game, like on the planet, which is crazy. And so I think that does stick with me because, and I played it and beat it. And I liked it more than you. It was just an epic moment. That kind of sticks out in my mind. I mean, Cyberpunk as well. Cyberpunk was huge for me. It was actually when I started, kind of regularly doing the show with you too. 2020, I believe. And Cyberpunk was like my life.
Yeah.
We couldn't go outside. It was mad pandemic. And
what was the name of your girlfriend in that?
Oh, Pan Am.
Pan Am. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
we've since parted ways.
Carlos was dating that game character for like a solid 6 months. It was like we would check back on it, and he'd have updates about how it was going. So yes,
we had a sexy time in the car. It was pretty good. Anyways, that game was like my life, and I talked about it like every chance I could get on the show, I think. So
that's a good answer.
That's an answer.
That's a good answer. For me, I mean, I think two things. I think two things. For me, ironic that we were just talking about Death Stranding. I think Death Stranding 1 is one that probably sticks with you the most because I talk about it a lot. I think it kind of comes up a lot because we talk about, the difference between the experience somebody has and the experience that the director wants you to have. Like I just talked about how I hate the story so much and I think it's awful, but it's actually one of my favorite games of all time because of how it plays. And so that kind of like, to me, kind of represents like the picking apart of games or like how we think about games on the show sometimes and how we can bring up different aspects of it. Just have the interesting conversations. But one of the other games, and I actually am embarrassed. I need your help with this one, Corey.
Oh boy.
We talked about, what was the one we talked about that was like, it was one of the gay focused games that we played. It was
the gay games.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was the one that
Is
took
it
place in the.
Is it
Go
the
ahead.
one where you're in the bathroom and they have guns
Yes,
for
yes,
dicks?
yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god. How did I know? Oh my
Guns
god.
for
Wow.
dicks.
We are on the
How did I
same wavelength,
guns for
baby.
dicks?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
I'll have to remember. I'm going to see if I can find it. Oh my god.
I cannot remember what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. And
I know.
So, like,
I know.
right.
Of course. Yeah. Guns for dicks. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Some of those episodes that we did, I was so proud of us doing those because I didn't hear anybody else talking about those games at the time. Not to say that anybody did. I'm not saying that we were trying to break any ground. I'm sure there were probably some queer podcasters out there who were not on my radar. You know, probably other indie game folks who were talking about those as well. But I was proud of us for like dipping in, you know, considering who our audience was and what we were covering at the time. I felt like, you know, happy to be talking about something different where we were talking about like, you know, what development was, different aspect, you know, different perspectives of things. And that was like a really fun episode to do. That one and the one we did with my wife, Gina, where it was about those pickup artists. Remember that one? Corey, that we did?
Yeah.
I forget what it was called, like the pickup, whatever it was. We talked about one particular pickup artist game and we all hated it, but it was like from three perspectives, me being the cis mediocre white guy, Corey being the gay guy, and then my wife being the woman, and like how we each responded to that content was very different. And I think it was like a really cool conversation to have because we all had such different approaches to that particular game. And I, you know, if the three of us hadn't been on the show, I don't think we would have been able to, you know, pick it apart that way. Did you find it?
Yeah, it's called The Tea Room.
The Tea Room.
The Tea Room.
Yeah, the Tea Room.
From 2017.
Yeah, that was a very memorable episode for sure. Is that the one you were going to pick?
No. But that's so funny.
You want to describe it really quickly?
I mean, it's a game. So there's a developer named Robert Young who makes like these really short games. A lot of them are like super gay focused, and these are on. I think he mostly puts his games on itch.io.
Yeah.
The Tea Room is basically. I just tried to click into the game, and it's like you have to be 18 to view this content. I'm like, I am fucking 18. Oh my god. It's basically It's like. Oh my god, how do I describe it? You're in a bathroom. The game is like kind of historically accurate of police trying to bust gay hookups in this like outdoor restroom. So it's
like a
first
truck
person
stop kind of thing.
like a truck
right?
stop kind of thing. Yeah, it's like so but in the game you're like it's first person, you're at the urinal and you're like basically there's like guys who will come up to the urinal next to you and you have to first of all like figure out if they're gay or not. And there's like they'll make like facial animations or there'll be like a little heart that goes above their head. If they're not gay, you let them go. And then if they like are gay and seem like they want to hook up, then you like go down to where their wiener is. And instead of their dick coming out, it's a gun, like an AK-47 or a shotgun. And then you start like sucking them off essentially, but then the gun will like shoot a bunch of bullets out as the orgasm. And it's fucking ridiculous, but also like it is like based on actual events of like, because you're trying to like look over your shoulder to make sure the police lights aren't outside because there's a window next to the urinal. So you're like looking for the police lights. If there's none out there, then you can like make the guy shoot his bullets next to you. And it's like that over and over. It sounds so ridiculous, but it's actually like very like a lot of social commentary, like meta, all the things. Good pick, Brad.
Oh my
that one
goodness.
sticks with me for sure. But that's not the one
And
you're
now
going
it
to pick.
sticks with me, and now it sticks with all of us.
Now Carlos has got to go play that. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I do. I don't like the idea of a gun. That is
Carlos doesn't like sucking off guns at truck stops. Okay.
who likes the guns, the bullets. I'm afraid.
Corey, what are we going to pick? Do you have something?
I'm trying to think about some things. One thing, whenever you're talking about, and this actually I think is pre-podcast, but one thing when you're talking about like only us kind of covering it situation, I still think about the story you told me whenever I reviewed Candleman for Game Critics.
Oh, yeah.
And then you said you went to like a conference thing or a game show and like one of the publishers of the game like came up to you and was like, oh my God, thank you so much. That actually, I'm not misremembering that.
No, correct. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, true story.
Even though Candleman was pre-podcast, maybe I played it for Game Critics before, and it's like, to sum it up quickly, Candleman is this short platformer where you literally play as a candle, and it's in darkness, but whenever you pull one of the triggers on the controller, the candle will light up for a second. However, you only have like 10 seconds of light per level, so you have to kind of move around in the darkness and then like flick the candle on quickly to get your surroundings and then move. And if you use up all your wax, then you like die or whatever, or you can fall off the platforms. But there's these levels in it where you're in these gardens and like you flick your little candle light on and the flowers will like bloom and like illuminate around. It is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful game. And it's not too hard. It's a little spooky sometimes. Just really, really wonderful. And
if you remember when we played it, when we got to the ending was just like fucking insane, like how like sad it was and stuff. And when we went to talk to the developers, we were like, how the fuck can you possibly end this game like this? And they're like, oh yeah, we have like one more level we didn't finish.
Yeah, and I think I ended up playing the last level when they released it, but I can't remember the exact details of it. This was years ago. But that one, when we're talking about sort of playing things that other people don't really play, that kind of sticks out to me. I also like Carlos, like you mentioned, Cyberpunk was huge for me. And Cyberpunk was interesting for me because I played it right off of like breaking up with my ex-boyfriend, or he broke up with me. So I was like sad and it was Christmas break and I didn't have anything to do. So I bought it, but I got to play it. I had like 3 lives with this game. I played it on my PlayStation 4 Pro on my big TV and was like depression playing it for a month. And then when I got my first gaming PC, I played it like once or twice on my gaming PC, but it was at like mid-level graphics because it was like not like, it was like a not great PC. And then when I got my new PC, I was like, I can I can have ray tracing finally. And so then I got to play it again, but like how it's actually supposed to look on like a 4K HDR monitor with, with the graphics card and ray tracing and path tracing. And it was just cool to like play that game, kind of play like 3 iterations of it. And also once like the Phantom Liberty DLC came out, like it really so like just wonderful DLC. I don't know. I mean, it's my second most played game on Steam for a reason, because it's a game I remember like it's the kind of game where I can just like put a podcast or a YouTube video on one monitor and I can just like drive around the city and do like little odd jobs and sort of like listen to the podcast or the video and do stuff. It just works really, really well. I'm sure there's other games I could think of, but those are the ones that really come to mind.
Those are good answers. Those are good answers. All right. I think those are good. Mike, thank you very much for the question. Sorry I missed it the first time, but I'm glad that I got it because I think it took us to an interesting place. So excellent. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay. Looking quickly at the time, we do have about 13 minutes left, so we might have to put our foot on the gas just a bit. One more game to cover really quickly here. Carlos, I'm going to let you lead off. This is Beast of Reincarnation. Now, just FYI, I am playing this as well, but go ahead and kick it off for us, will you?
This is going to be great. I already know what your thoughts are on the game. I already know. Okay. I already know. It's just
because I posted about it on the Discord.
No, I didn't look, actually.
You didn't read? I wrote a whole thing in the Discord about it, no?
I didn't read it.
Okay.
I was off Discord for a couple of days, but I still know. I already know.
Okay.
So in general, a lot of the population, a lot of people talking about the game don't like it, and they have a problem. This is Game Freaks who do Pokemon, but it isn't an offshoot of them. A kind of a different take of a game, totally. Third person, actiony game. I feel like there's like Souls-like elements. There's a little what's it? Nier.
Nier,
I feel
for sure. Yeah.
I feel Stellar Blade in there a little bit, and Death Stranding a little bit.
Yeah.
And so the positive twist, because spoiler, I actually kind of like it. Is I think, in general, it's a game where you play a woman who they don't really talk too much about her backstory, and they kind of fill that in as you go along. But she's very quiet. She's just kind of like there to hit monsters, and she's part of the Blight, and she's a Stain. There's a lot of lore. But the short version, you're this like badass woman who's very quiet. And you're in a walker, like a futuristic,
like a mech
thing.
Walker thing, yeah.
And that's why there's like attachment to Death Stranding. It's like you come back to the base, and that's your base, and you go out and you do things, and you kill monsters, and you're trying to figure out this whole world, and then you go back and kind of cook food, and there's like there's like kind of resource stuff that goes on, and so in general, I think why people don't like it, and why I had a problem with it, cast in the beginning, is that after you do combat and stuff. every single little intermission or like story beat is wicked slow. Like super, super, super slow. It makes you go to sleep. If you're sleepy already, forget about it. Like you're going to go to sleep. But I've figured that out by just hitting the button a bunch of times really fast. You'll get the gist of it, and that's how you get through those parts. But I think that is like a huge thing that people are saying they don't like, which is makes sense because it's like, how do I get into the story, which is this huge world, and the whole game is kind of very story focused. If I like don't give a shit, and like I really am tired of hearing these people like just breathe for a long time. So I understand all that aside. I'm putting that up front, and that's why people are like, and the combat's just okay or whatever. But I would say why I'm enjoying it is kind of similar to Death Stranding 2 and how I played it. Is I made it story mode. It's wildly accessible in the fact that it's easy, right? And to other people, without going to a tangent, as you know, Brad and everybody else, is I don't give a shit about games being super hard. I'd rather just have a good time, and we have a short period of time on this planet, whatever. So I put on story. There's still challenge. You still got to do things. You still gotta upgrade your shit. But it's just fun to play. And I think you hopefully will agree with this, Brad, is that when the flow was going, though, even if you don't like the combat in general and you're like, when the flow's going and you finally upgraded a bunch of the skill tree stuff, it's like pretty damn fun. Like I'm going from this to this, I'm floating, I'm jumping off this flower, my dog's attacking. The dog has a turn-based attack, which is really fun, I think. And so I'm doing all this, the dog's kicking ass and I'm kicking ass. And I'm like, oh, the moment to moment is fun. I'm treating the game like Death Stranding. So I'm literally going slow on purpose, and it's becoming my cozy game, which I don't think anyone saw coming, and me either. But like, there's a lot of faults with it, and it's too slow, and I don't know if I care. But there's an underlying thing of, I like the mechanic of doing the combat. I like going back to my walker. It's just a relaxing thing I play at night. And the last thing I'll say, I'm looking at the time, is that I do like the core idea of humans going into robots. This is a minor spoiler, but it's important. I think it helps sells the game. What they don't really tell you much is that all these robots you're meeting are humans who like downloaded their consciousness into robots. And so there's another story that's unfolding in the back half of this game that I think is really interesting. And I'm guessing Brad already quit the game. But if you do get there, if I get there, I think there might be another thing to be had.
All right.
So that was me speed running.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching the clock as well. So how do you think I feel about the game? You said you already kind of knew. So
I think you don't like it.
I think you're wrong.
I'm
you're
wildly wrong.
I love this game. I think it's great.
Oh my goodness!
I think I actually like it more than you like it.
Okay, so episode 500 is the first time I've been wrong about a guess about Brad. But why not put that on episode 500? Really?
Yeah, for real. I mean, for many of the reasons you discussed. So like, I think, let me just get the negatives out of the way first. I think that they really fucked up the tutorials, like hardcore. Tutorials are stupid.
Agreed.
I got to the basic tutorials 4 hours after starting the game. And at that point, I had already figured out how to jump. So like, I didn't need to know that.
Why did they come in that late? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the way that they tell the story is messed up. I think the story is good and interesting. But the way that they're telling it, at least in the beginning, is messed up. It seems like the devs at the last minute had some kind of like, oh, wait, we got to switch this up and move this piece here and move this. Like, it feels jumbled in the way that it comes out, and I don't think it makes sense, the order in which they do it. But I think the rest of it is like really cool. Like, I like having a base to come back to, which does remind me of like Death Stranding. Reminds me also of like Metal Gear Survive. I know I'm the only person on Earth that likes that game, but like it reminds me a lot of that, where you go out and get resources, come back to your base and build up your base a little bit, which I really like. I like being able to go out into this huge... The first area is enormous. I spent probably total about 6 hours in just the first area. They're not all that big, but like when you're just learning the game and going into it, like, you know, finding resources, killing robots, and just running around, figuring out the locomotion and stuff like that. I think just having that first area is pretty cool. And so I went through everything. I think I found everything on that map. I was really, really, you know, methodical about it. And I think that's really good. I like the vibe, like this definitely kind of near post-apocalyptic. There's people, but there's also robots who have human spirits in them. And I don't think it's much of a spoiler. They talk about that pretty early on in the game.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I like the vibe of it. And I like how it's so systems focused as well. It almost feels a little bit like, I know some people are going to get mad about this, but it feels a little bit like a Kojima game in that it is so focused on like the mechanics of how these attacks work and how your other supporting systems work. It's not as detailed. It's not as deep and as rich. I mean, Kojima's on his own level when it comes to mechanics. But it's got that same kind of level of like, this is really about like managing all these different abilities, managing your equipment, managing your resources. You get back to your mech base, and there's like a little area to hatch chickens, and you have chickens, and you grow some rice in the back of the
rice and
you make rice, and there's like a kitchen, and you're talking to the girl who cooks your food, and like like all this kind of like all this shit that happens is like it's very cool. Like I really like it a lot, and I think the combat works. I think the combat is really fun and interesting. But it's not just about the combat, right? Like it's not just about seeing a million different enemies. It's about, managing groups and about knowing what you've got. And it's just a very systems focused game. And I like systems games. And so I think that works. I will agree. I think almost all the cutscenes are too long and too slow for sure. I think that's a big problem. They should have sped that up. I think they're kind of told in a weird way. But I like your dog companion is really cool. He's very capable and
the turn-based thing, so neat.
Turn-based thing
I think
is
that's
really
a
good.
cool thing. Yeah,
I think the whole thing is just a really good game. I'm really, really liking it a lot, and I'm actually honestly surprised that more people are not liking it. But then again, I don't know. I've always been the outlier too, so it doesn't surprise me. But I feel like this game is better than it's getting credit for sure. So definitely,
this is like an opposite Starfield moment.
It
like
kind
where
of
we
is.
both like it and everybody doesn't like it.
Yeah, we're the opposite. Corey, did you hear anything about Beast of Reincarnation at all? Is this on your radar even remotely?
I mean, I'm never going to play it because it's not my kind of game, but I do, I have heard about it, and I follow, I'm trying to think of what they're called now. There's a YouTube channel from Australia, Skill Up, that I watch, and they do a lot of video game news. I say that like they don't have like a million subscribers, like everybody knows they are, knows who they are. But they put up their review like a few days ago last week, and I watched it because even if I'm not interested in the game, sometimes I'll still watch the reviews. And he was pretty hard on it and said it was kind of boring and too linear and didn't really like it. I don't care one way or the other because I'm never going to play this game. But I do think it's interesting that like they are like freed from the shackles of Pokemon for a minute to be able to actually make something else. But it's not my kind of game.
No worries. Yeah, I've actually been having quite a good time with it. I moved to the second zone and things are progressing, like skills are growing. And I am honestly shocked that like people are just like rebelling maybe because there's no Pokemon in it or I don't know what, but like
no, that's not why.
I don't know why, but like, I had some people saying, oh, Stellar Blade is better than this. Well, I thought Stellar Blade was hot trash. And like no one is more inclined to like a game because of copious TNA than me. Like I'm all about it, but like that game was shit. Like that game is really bad. I was not the biggest fan of Nier, and maybe Nier just like is that space, right? Maybe this is not enough Nier, or maybe people don't want anybody taking the same space that Nier's in. It's very Nier-like.
It is very Nier-like.
But I like this one better. I just do. I just like it better. So I guess I think it's a good game. Really good game.
I'm going to go back into Discord like after this podcast and look at all your comments now because I'm very excited. I really do like it too. And there's a couple of things I wrote down and we're at time, but funny things real quick. Well, one annoying thing is there's invisible walls everywhere. Fuck off. Come on. With 2026,
True.
fuck off.
That's fair.
And I got, I'm glitch to the ground guy. I got stuck. Like the save just kept loading me into the place where I was stuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, that aside, you keep trying to talk to your dog, and that's weird. Where it's like, no, try to talk to him again, and the dog
feel
goes,
like he's going to say
Arf.
something at some point.
Yeah,
I feel like he's going to get there.
You just wait. He'll talk to you. Arf. You're like, I think he's still barking. And the last thing that's really funny is someone said to me or Emma, I can hear a voice from your hair. And I was like, that's the funniest line I've ever heard. Also, Brad, you're in the game.
I know, that was very funny. People are making jokes about it, which is
There's
very,
a guy
very
who
funny
drives
to
the
me.
mech as Brad.
He's an old cranky guy who drives the vehicle. His name is Brad, and I'm like, okay, I can see that.
He's
being
cranky.
me, so.
There's some correlation. There's some correlation.
For sure.
Yay, so we're all in on it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll circle back. Maybe you'll circle back. We'll talk about it. I definitely feel like if the game keeps going the way it's going, I definitely would like to finish it. I think it's good enough, and it's really giving me enough life that I want to keep going on it. So
yeah, I'm gonna.
That's really good. So, all right. We went through our time a little more quickly than I thought. We're gonna skip the last section. Let's just go straight to wrap up, and then we will have ourselves a nice episode 500 here. All right, folks, I guess this is time. Before the closing music, we'd love for you to leave reviews, share the show on social media. Most important of all, please recommend the show to your friends, because nothing beats good old word of mouth. And as always, we want your questions and comments. Hit me up directly, sovietgamespodcast@gmail.com, or on social media. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. Carlos, where can people find you?
So I'm doing games now. glitchtotheground.itch.io, itch.io. So Glitch to the Ground, like you've heard before, I do a gaming channel, but now I have the itch.io page. I'm making indie games there, and I have a Steam page, and I'll tell you about it next episode.
Excellent.
Because the big game is coming from there.
Looking forward to that. And Corey, are you on social media? Do you want anybody to reach out to you? If you get any fans from this episode, do you want to join our Discord perhaps? I mean, what can we promote for you here, sir?
I am too old to know how Discord works, so that's not it for me. I mean, the one social media that I use the most is probably Instagram. I would say my Twitter, but it's private, so everybody can fuck off if they want to follow me on Twitter. But my Instagram is probably the place to find me, even though I don't post anything video games related on there pretty much like ever. I do review a lot of movies through Letterboxd on there, though. But it's just my name, Corey Motley, CoreyMotley.
Excellent. All right, go follow Corey on Instagram and maybe on Letterboxd as well. And for other means of communication, you can hit me up in the So Video Games Discord, totally free of charge to join. Just drop me a line, whichever way you want to, and I'll get you on board to continue the conversation there. We got plenty of really intelligent and sexy folks in the Discord. I think we are growing a very nice community. So if you want to join, please do. Finally, if you like this episode and you want to hear more, you can help support this show and sister site GameCritics.com by going over to patreon.com/the So Video Games Podcast. Every single dollar helps, and €1 helps that much more. Folks, that's going to do it for episode 500. Thank you again for joining all of us here on the So Video Games Podcast, and I'll see you next week. Carlos, when will we see you next?
Probably in a couple weeks.
Excellent. And Corey, when will we see you next?
Probably in like 5 years.
Okay.
No, I mean, if you ever want me on, not regularly because I cannot commit to that, but every once in a while, just hit me up. And
I love that you're already backing away from the commitment. If you ever want me to come on, but actually don't call me too often, but every once in a while.
I have a 1 episode a year contract with you now, Brad.
Okay, one episode a year. I'll check in with you in 2027. All right, folks. Thank you all for listening to the show. Thank you for your support. Thanks for listening to this episode. We're doing it for you. Not sure that I would do it if you weren't here. So really appreciate all your listening. That's the checkout, closing the shows here. Thank you all. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.